So a few days ago, probably about a week, I made a video watching Jordan Peterson absolutely lose his mind because of his Twitter suspension. Now, just to clear something up, I did say that he did delete the tweet. I guess maybe he has not yet. Twitter has nuked it, but it is still basically he has to acknowledge that it was a bad tweet in order to come back. Now, my money was on 3 days, and he was going to be back. Well, I was wrong. He's still not back, but he is continually embarrassing himself, and it's pretty amazing. Now, this is a follow-up to that. Before we watch this new video, why Twitter is insane, we first need to address a few comments that I received on the other one. This is fascinating. Let's see. Let's go. It's Hypoman says, it is funny to see all the anti-Peterson YouTube footage have very immature titles with name-calling, while the pro-Peterson footage all have real questions in the titles. The fuck is that even supposed to mean? It's so bizarre. Like there's this moral high ground that Peterson deserves people to treat him with respect because he posted an incredibly shitty and cruel tweet. Fuck you. What the fuck? Let's see. Oh yeah. I got a lot of really, really good ones in here. PJ Corona, OMG, the heroes here amaze me. You're also brave to call out JP. Now go back to Twitter, CNN, and MSNBC and do what they tell you, because you're really good people and really make a difference in the world. Honest. Your opinion counts, and you should go to a safe space where no one will question you, and no one can hurt you, and no one can dead name you, and no one can do anything that you don't like. It's fascinating because, like, the thing is, when I make a video that I'm very, very hypercritical of, like, a right winger, right? There's this idea, this oozing, pedantic fucking comment that I always get, where they seem to think that like we need a safe space, or like we're very fragile, yet they're actually commenting because they're upset that I insulted their parasocial internet daddy. It's weird to me. Also, of course, ball cap and shades in the bio. Kind of cringe reaction video. Can't really deny that. There was a couple of really good bangers in here. A lot of these are really good too. Some of you guys left some amazing comments. Dude has a problem and conservatives enable him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here we go. S mode. Do you really not see how much hypocrisy you're swimming in here? You asked, why does he care? For the same reason that you care about what he says, does, posts. Odd. He put this video out there as a public figure, and so you cared and feel the need to say something. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. Like, that's the whole thing. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, and I can respond to it however the fuck I want. But here we go into the actual, like, brain rot dumbfuckery. The same way Elliot put out a flurry of stories about his transition in the media for publicity and attention, so Jordan cared and commented. Now, that's different. You have to understand the nature of having this type of communication. In one era, or in one area, you have Elliot Page sharing broadly to the world, like, hey, this is me, and this is my experience. That is broadly. It's just out there. Peterson attacked directly one person. Pow. That is different than somebody simply existing. And if you don't know what that difference is, you're an idiot. And then I did the same, and I countered by shitting on Peterson because he's a piece of shit. It's really not that hard. But if you don't understand that and you think that people just simply existing can be like an attack, you are fragile. You are tissue paper. Like, it's so bizarre. Let's see. I'd argue. Oh God. People who chose to be celebrities, though I'd argue that against Peterson choosing celebrity per se, it was brought to him by others, though he's willingly embraced it. That's a absolutely inane fucking making it needlessly complicated. No, he absolutely is a celebrity, and he loves it. Except that there will be public commentary about decisions or opinions they parade for the public. Yes. So Peterson should also expect that as well. There's only one person in this whole situation who's acting like a big whiny baby with poop in his pants. That would be Jordan Peterson. Same way, except that there will be comments about this in your other videos that you put out. You're very not familiar with me, are you? You say he's being needlessly cruel to people who have nothing to do with him. He is. Jordan Peterson has nothing to do with you and does not affect you, yet you were just needlessly cruel by accusing him of having sex with his own daughter, which I can't prove, but which would not only be an attack on him, but also his daughter. Well, his daughter's a piece of shit, so fuck her too. She has no effect on you, correct? Pot, I'd like to introduce you to Kettle. Here's the difference. Matching cruelty with cruelty is an equivalent exchange. It's an equivalent exchange, right? And Peterson has an overwhelming, and even Michaela, overwhelmingly massive amount of social political power, well over me. I'm punching up. So at the same time, you could say, well, it's maybe an even playing field. And to a certain degree, sure it is. So why do you have a fucking problem with it? Why are you whining and being a piss baby because I'm doing something that Peterson is doing? The only difference is I'm responding to his cruelty. He's responding because he's terrified of trans people. They didn't do shit to him. Elliot Page didn't do shit to him. So what's the fucking problem? Not to mention how gross and creepy it is that you see and think sex when a father and daughter get along too well. They get along a little bit too well, okay? Just look at the original cover of the Carnivore Diet. Okay? It's so fucking weird. Also, it's a joke. It's called a joke. It's like how Steven Crowder drinks dog cum. It's a joke. It's just a joke. I too have seen him interact with his daughter, and that you see that and think cream pie says another more about you and your tendencies than it does about him. Okay, all right. Sorry, buddy. I think when the terms crybaby and poopy pants comes into your rebuttal of someone's argument, you've lost the debate. All right. Now, this is important. We're going to stop there for the comments because I want to get to this fucking video because it's just going to be insane and stupid. Whoa, that's the wrong one. Not everything is a fucking debate, okay? And I need people who are going to watch this video because they're angry Jordan Peterson fans to understand something. Not everything is a fucking debate. Commentary is not a debate. I'm not even making an essay on this shit, okay? I am providing just as much low effort, low rent fucking content than any of the other people out there doing this like political punditry kind of shit, okay? The difference is that I'm blatant about it and I'm not actually trying to like make a bunch of money off of it. I'm doing it because it's fair. People are shitheads on this fucking site. They're absolute shitheads for no purpose except to incite a culture war. And they do that because they want you to watch and they want you to give them money. Peterson is now selling a fucking like series of classes. He's making a school. There's no difference between that and some fucking crystal healer who's like, take my online course for $90 and I will teach you how to realign your fucking chakras, okay? There's nothing fucking different. There's nothing different at all. And none of this is a debate. The same people who think, like, I'm losing a debate when I call Peterson a brain-dead old fuck who probably bangs his daughter are the same people who don't even understand, like, they'll hear me insult and they're like, that's an ad hominem. You don't know what you're talking about. Not everything is a fucking debate. Just fucking enjoy it or keep pooping your pants. I don't fucking care what you do. Anyway, so, let's hear him cry some more about Twitter. Well, this is always good for me. This is the only way my dick gets hard anymore.
Hello, everyone. Before diving into this topic, I've got to clarify something. I am reading some of the pieces that I'm producing, and that means that these are things that
Shouldn't you be reading all?
I wrote. The reason I'm doing that rather than speaking extemporaneously is because now and then, if I'm pushing myself to the limits of my conceptual ability, then I have to choose my words with the undue care that writing allows. And I suppose that has the disadvantage that's associated with reading something rather than speaking off the cuff. But
guys, I keep fucking up, so I'm going to have to write things down instead of just trust that I can say intelligent things. Okay. I get it. I get it. If something's important enough, when I'm making a video, I write a script. It's rare, but I do it. I get that. I think this might. Yeah, no, it's true. Steven Crowder actually does drink dog cum, though. That is actually 100% true. Everybody knows it. This might be because in one of his previous videos where he talks about how America deserves to get fucked up by Russia because of our degeneracy, he messes up the Holodomor and calls it the Holomodor. Hodor.
The advantage of precision and care. So today I'm going to read a piece that I entitled, Why Twitter is Insane. It is often said that social media is driving us out of our minds, individually and collectively. Is this true? And if so, how and why? The eminent social psychologist Jonathan Haidt recently wrote a hard-hitting article showing that use of certain forms of social media, particularly by girls just entering adolescence, was directly and causally associated with higher rates of depression and depression-related symptoms.
Okay. I would probably actually agree with that. I mean, if ever there was evidence that social media can really, truly damage your self-esteem and your brain, it's this guy. But no, look, you have to unplug. Terminally online is a very real thing. But it's like, you can't just say just social media. Social media is probably the biggest culprit only because of its accessibility. Anybody can jump onto it. It's very, very popular. Just kind of how it is. But sure, whatever, fine.
Since the early to mid 2010s, I had been thinking along broadly similar lines, particularly with regard to Twitter and how its incentives are structured compared to those that characterize healthy
The fuck is going on with this?
human interactions. The extent of its harmful pathology has recently been brought home to me as a consequence of those deliberations. A thought experiment.
I don't understand how we can't just talk like a fucking human being. I've come to some realizations by this. I've thought about this a lot, and I believe it doesn't have to sound like you're trying to use a thesaurus for every fucking sentence just so people can be like, wow, he's just so intelligent.
Imagine, for example, that you learned a particular pattern of communication in your family, one that when used on others triggered a passive or even outright aggressive resistance. By definition,
Okay.
the unusual method of communication you had been taught, one that did not generalize well to the broader social environment, would characterize you, at least as far as society is concerned, as insane. Now, let's ask,
What the fuck are you talking? Can you just give an example if you're gonna say something loaded like that? So say you're growing up. I have to be a fucking Jordan Peterson translator now. This is so fucking annoying. Say you're growing up and you have a manner of speaking. Say you lived in like an insular community or very, very rural area with your family, and they just said shit that other people, society at large, just do not fucking say. The only thing that I can think of is like they drop fucking tons of N-bombs or something, right? You know, maybe. But then it wouldn't be necessarily like that they are seen as insane. They'd be seen as ignorant or backwards, you know? I'm not really sure what he's talking about. Also, he looks like a melted fucking candle right now. You see this shit? Yeah, I have to be a fucking Petersonian translator. It's disgusting. I feel like I'm just oozing.
how does Twitter, like that family, differ from the real world in how it requires us to communicate with each other? How does it make us, too, insane?
It would be helpful if most people could actually understand what the fuck you meant with that example, that analogy, you know. But look, I've known people who say lol in real life, and I get it. It's weird, but it's not that big of a deal.
The first way is in the manner in which it bypasses the traditional means for measuring the quality of communication. In the real world, High-volume communication is extremely costly, requiring both hard-to-establish credibility, why otherwise would large numbers of people want to read or listen to you, and access to the wealth necessary for such communication.
Okay, hang on. So this is brain rot here. He's comparing the ability to speak through social media broadly versus being able to speak broadly in real life, by which I'm assuming he's saying, like, you have to be a big name celebrity and have credibility in order to have, like, big speaking engagements or something like that. And if that's where he's going with this is going to get fucking weird. Really weird. Just wait.
Either directly through personal accumulation or by proxy, such as a contractual arrangement with a publishing house.
So
Twitter casts these limitations asunder. The consequence of this demolition of potentially vital regulation is multiplied by the fact that Twitter provides universal access to each of its users' hard-won personal networks.
Okay, now this is fucking bizarre. So people not being able to have a book publishing deal is a necessary regulation for the quality of communication in society. That is a big oof there. That is a big oof. This is bizarre.
The second way is how anyone, regardless of competence or social status, can comment to anyone else's entire network of followers merely by commenting on something the latter posted. That same commenter, therefore, can access all those who have chosen to follow not them, but the target of their, say, insult and derision.
Okay, so it's bad that everybody has a level playing field, and that if you say something and people disagree with it, then not only then can they disagree with you, but they can voice their disagreement to the people that follow you. And this is a problem. This is wild. Jordan Peterson is mad because people can tell him he's wrong. That is literally what this fucking video is so far. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Without having demonstrated any of the competence necessary to have attracted such attention on their own.
Oh no.
This democratization of communication enables a parasitism completely divorced from competence. It massively inflates noise relative to signal, bypassing all the screening mechanisms that have been so painstakingly developed to shield us from incessant racket in the real world.
Okay, this is pure fucking elitism. Can you imagine? Okay, if there's Peterson fans that still like him these days and you're watching this video, I have a fucking question for you. How do you listen to what he just said? Because you do not have the same access, the same pedestal, the same ability to speak versus him in real life. And he thinks that those limitations should also exist on the internet. So he wants to limit your ability, your access to be able to be as vocal as he is. Not only is that elitism, that's fucking authoritarianism. What the fucking dog shit is this kind of crap? Holy fuck. And he actually thought about this when he wrote a script. He had to write this script, go through it, make sure that this is what he wanted to say, and then record a video. This is insane. No, Jordan Peterson is not pro-free speech. Yeah, guys, holy shit.
The third way Twitter breaks the norms of standard human interaction is the zero cost and even potential benefit it imposes on those who engage in flagrant ethical misconduct. It facilitates the
like you dead naming Elliot Page for fucking no reason. What the fuck, dude?
Implied moral elevation that accrues to the accuser who adopts the position of virtuous judge merely by formulating an accusation, however
that's exactly what you do. This is the same fucking thing. Like, he has no fucking self-reflection. He himself sees his perspectives and his platforms, his viewpoints as virtuous, and he judges. There's nothing virtuous about shitting all over Elliot Page. It was just cruel. And he acted in his sense of like, I am virtuous, and he used his judgment. What the fuck? He cannot self-reflect. That part of his brain has eroded away.
Vague, ill-founded, and scurrilous.
Scurrilous.
In the same vein, there is no cost for insults, ad hominem attacks, and provocative statements.
Fuck you.
Incitement, in other words. People can hide behind their anonymity as well and act, if possible, even more brazenly. Too often, therefore, the medium stimulates a reactive rage, as it denies even to competent users two of the main privileges traditionally granted to them: the presumption of innocence and the right and ability to engage in effective self-defense.
Wait. Are you saying that is a right? Hang on.
The medium stimulates a reactive rage.
I want to hear this again.
As it denies even to competent users two of the main privileges traditionally granted to them.
Privileges, okay.
The presumption of innocence.
Presumption of innocence is when somebody stands accused of something. Like it, none of this is a trial.
And the right and ability to engage in effective self-defense.
Is because he perceives everything about this as him being persecuted. This is oppression Olympics. 5 years ago, it felt like people were working off a fucking chart and adding up their oppression points to see who stacks up against who. We made jokes about that all the time back in the day, and unfortunately, we went way too far with it. But holy shit, man, this is like the crown prince of oppression right here. He is so, guys, Jordan Peterson is so under attack and under assault that every night when he sleeps on his bed of millions with his daughter naked, he cries, and it's terrible, and it's so hard.
The mob can say anything at all about you or your thoughts online, despite your hard-earned reputation. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing you can do about it.
And it's another, your reputation, Jordan Peterson's reputation, is not under his control. That's another one. That's another one that he cannot seem to comprehend, is that you might actually be in charge and responsible for your reputation. And it's just unfair that people don't respect it. Like, what the fuck, man?
Any member of what can far too easily become a mob can level any accusation, no matter how slanderous, against anyone at all, for
welcome to society. It's been like this for decades.
Any reason.
Yeah.
And there is little or nothing that the target can do in response. Perhaps most worrisome of...
There is plenty. When you get canceled, there's a lot of shit that you can do, okay? A lot of wrong. But, there are definitely some very positive things that you can do. Having been canceled before many times, the idea that Peterson is even remotely experiencing a fucking tenth of how much dog shit I've gone through, other smaller creators have gone through, we don't have the insulation of being a fucking millionaire outside of our chosen profession. Like, if I get fucked up on YouTube, that's it. That's my rent. But Peterson has fucking books, speaking engagements, selling his online courses and shit. But this is the biggest thing. This is how desperately bad things are for Jordan, because he might not be able to post on Twitter, which he doesn't even get paid for. I'm sorry, dude. You overprivileged fucking fragile fucking princess. Fuck you.
Of all is the fact that this incited rage bleeds over into the real world. All the impotent anger generated is externalized away from the social network and dispersed. Thus, the ambient emotional temperature of general society is raised degree by degree to the boiling point.
Yeah, because you're pissing people off.
malignant narcissism.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you absolutely are.
We know this instinctively, but it would be easy to test. An ambitious PhD student, in case one's listening, could expose one group to Twitter for half an hour, another randomly established to another social media network, and a third, if desired, to a reading task. All study participants could then be assigned, say, a competitive aggression research task.
You know, you could do this, Jordan. You could actually do this yourself. You know, you're a psychologist. You could do it. Why aren't you are you too busy crying on video about your Twitter account? What the fuck, man?
To determine if Twitter exposure heightens the proclivity to respond in kind with punishment to provocation. I believe that Twitter's reward structure, even more than Facebook's, incentivizes malignant narcissism. It enables and benefits free riding and prioritizes psychopathic motivation. And it garners disproportionate attention in doing so, capitalizing on the attractiveness of outrageous behavior.
Yeah, no, he has never commented on the fact that Michaela dated Cobra Tate, the fucking pickup artist who like got arrested for sex trafficking. This is true. Jordan Peterson's daughter was while he was in the coma in Eastern Europe because he's such a pussy he can't go through withdrawals like a normal human being who had to deal with an addiction. He's so much of a fucking coward. While he was in that coma, Michaela, his daughter, inventor of the dumb fuck carnivore diet, was running around with Cobra Tate, a alleged sex trafficker and a pickup artist, all over in Eastern Europe, and were fucking like partying it up and got COVID. Like, all of this is real. If not for the high priority, like the high status it seems that Jordan Peterson is put up on, the shit that happens to him and his family is actually Jerry Springer level dog shit. It is hilarious to me. Hilarious. Cobra Tate went after Leon Lush. I bet that didn't go very well. Leon Lush is awesome. I love that dude. I got to hang out with him a couple of times in real life. Leon's he's wonderful. Anyway, let's do a little bit more of this. I don't know if we're going to watch this whole video. This is just inane.
While externalizing all the associated and inevitable costs to the innocent broader society. This is the psychological equivalent of the tragedy of the commons, the psychological equivalent to pollution of the air we all breathe. I recently spoke about all this to the author of the article I mentioned previously, psychologist Jonathan Haidt, and on the same email string to Steven Pinker, the eminent cognitive psychologist.
Why would you be talking to Steven Pinker? Wasn't he like an Epstein bro? This is weird.
How did my psychologist colleagues react? Haidt noted that Twitter indeed cuts the link between, quote, competence or value creation and prestige/reward. Pinker likewise observed, quote, the contrast between Twitter and face-to-face communication is profound. I have been astounded at how some of my students and younger colleagues think nothing of spitting utterly gratuitous and unjustified snark at respected figures in their fields.
This is totally okay. There's a lot to unpack here. He's mad because people that he believes should be considered elite, philosopher kings, if you will, are being mistreated by randos on Twitter. Well, toughen up, Buttercup, because this is what freedom is. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that people should have to put their faces and their names to their statements. I really do. I've always believed that. But at the same time, we live in a world where if we did not have anonymity, there are plenty of people in very dangerous situations that could be very greatly harmed by it. So I understand. But what is the most amazing thing about this that I really have to emphasize this point, and that's where we're gonna finish with this because I can't fucking handle it. This guy is brain rot. There has been countless amounts of studies done to analyze our problems with social media and the voids of empathy between different types of communication. Lots of people, brilliant people, people who dedicate their lives to this, have put out studies, evidence. There is science on the matter. Peterson doesn't mention any of those. He doesn't cite any of those. Instead, he name drops. He name drops two that are friends of his, apparently. I don't know why he would be like, yeah, I'm friends with a dude who was on the Lolita Express with Jeffrey Epstein. That's very fucking weird. Anyway, he name drops two and just says, yes, they agreed with me in our emails. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Why not show us some actual literature on the matter? And probably because the actual literature on the matter is a lot more specific and nuanced, like how science is supposed to be. We have layers of interaction between each other. The best way to have an actual understanding with somebody, the best chance at empathy and understanding is through face-to-face communication where you can see each other's body language, hear your voices, see the expressions in the face, have the proximity. Everything around is informing you on that person's intent and what they're trying to communicate. Once you have to remove one of those things, your empathy goes down. For instance, if you have a phone call with somebody, or actually, let's start with this. A video chat with somebody is less empathy than if you're face-to-face. A voice call is less empathy because now you can't see their face. And then lastly, you get to text. And text is almost completely devoid of empathy. And it all goes dumbing down. Now, it's important to mention this because this has been a problem even before there was widespread social media use. And I think he might even know that. I don't know. At this point, I just have to assume that he's a fucking moron in every way because he's brain dead. But this is something that we've understood for a long time. And he's not going to say that because he needs you to focus on Twitter because they're being mean to me and they're allowing all these plebeian people to say things unrestricted. Bad to me. They're not respecting that I am very smart and I have earned the ability to not have to listen to these incessant opinions that I don't want to hear. It's cowardly shit. It's preposterous. It's pompous. It's fucking authoritarian. It's anti-free speech. I wonder if he goes ape shit at the end like he did in the other video. Let's do that. Let's see if he just goes fucking bonkers.
Our social institutions. It seems clear that the potential psychological and sociological harm engendered by the increasingly monopolistic communication enterprises engaging our society are such that we should at least consider a push to conduct research on the matter.
There has been.
With an eye to conceptualizing, designing, and improving social media sharing platforms that aren't prima facie insane.
It's so weird because, you can't force people to use a different website. That's not how society works. That would be authoritarian. Sorry.
And contagiously so. We must do so before our new, and in some ways miraculous, mass communication systems pollute the social world beyond repair.
Daily Wire, man. Daily Wire. One of the worst things to ever happen to this brain-dead dipshit. Yeah, now he's just got he's got a whole support structure now. A whole support structure to rub his back. It's okay, Papa Jordan. It's going to be fine. I swear, this is old man screams at clouds kind of shit. I'm loving it. I am loving it. This is not the spookiest video he's put out this week. His ranting about degeneracy and how America deserves to be fucked up by Russia is quite possibly it's spooky. It echoes some really terrifying shit. But anyway, yeah, he's still crying about it. Oh well.